am Slick Nick, the living legend of hair loss, your personal hairline hero, and of course, the red pill pusher of hair loss. You? Who are you? What is your identity? Blue pill. You choose to believe that you're being judged on your hair, and that if you lose your hair, you'll be less attractive and less valuable to society. That's what you choose to live in that land. But as for me, I unplugged and I realized that it's more about the red pill, that you actually have a lot of control over your own life, that you focus on what you can control and not on what you can't, because you cannot naturally cause hair loss or prevent it. You can't naturally do those things. It was already determined when you were woven in the womb. When you were born, your DNA was already determined. So what I want to focus on right now, I'm making this video as a response to a comment I received. So the problem is I can't just pull up my phone and read it off. You know why? Because it no longer exists. I read the comment, and then when I went back to it a couple minutes later, it said this comment is no longer available. So that means one of two things. One is, in the comment there was something inappropriate that YouTube censored and basically deleted it themselves. That happens a lot. Or the person felt embarrassed by what they said and then deleted it themselves. It's funny, on a similar note, a lot of people think, they say, Nick, you deleted my comment. Why'd you delete my comment? I said something. No, I didn't delete your comment. You'd be amazed how few times I've ever deleted a comment or blocked anybody, unless someone's just like basically invoking some kind of threat. I'm not gonna go through the trouble of even doing that. I get way too many comments and views every single hour of every day to keep up with all of them. I just scroll through them and base, videos off of them. But now I don't have time to block people's comments. But again, YouTube has this filter, so even if you say like the word loser in a comment or incel, YouTube won't even let it show up. And I even learned that this week, because I was basically saying, do you think you're a loser because you're going bald? And I said, anything you believe in your mind is true. But I don't personally think that about you. That's you being a bully to yourself. But YouTube censored that and didn't let me make money off of that video because I used the word loser. Even though the whole point of it is that you're not a loser unless you believe you are, and you should stop being blue pill about it and become a red pill so that you know that you're actually not a loser. So imagine the irony there. So this person, I believe, deleted the comment, but the comment was this, I'm gonna paraphrase it. So I made the video recently saying, I'm not obsessed with hair loss, you are. I'm obsessed with being fit and healthy and managing money. As we all know, $500 a month is what I earn from my YouTube channels. And that's a side hustle. It's icing on top of what I already do for a living and my other side hustles. But I am obsessed with managing money. Not just making money like a rapper, but making the money and then making more money off of the money that I already made, in addition to saving money, etc. So those are things I actually am obsessed with. But yes, we can arguably say that I'm obsessed with losing the dad bod, really was what it comes down to. I'm 6 months away from turning 40. I do not want to have a dad bod. I want to have 17% body fat is what I want. It's not that I want huge muscles. I want to get rid of the excess body fat because I'm over 20% on body fat. I want to get down to 17, which is a very realistic goal. So yes, I'm at the gym 6 days a week. I then walk 2 miles outside every day. In addition to that, I do intermittent fasting. I usually don't eat any calories until noon and then none after 7 p.m. I consume between 100 and 130 grams of complex protein a day. So you could say that's an obsession. It's funny because I kind of keep my wife updated on, okay, well, here's the newest way I found out to hack some more calories, to get in more protein and less calories. And she said, it's almost like you're anorexic. I said, funny thing is, it kind of is like that, except I'm not, as I pointed to the fat on my belly, because you have to really lay everything out. You have to be very detailed if you're really trying to lose fat and keep fat off and build muscle. I mean, many of you know that because you're like me, you do that. So now that I've given you kind of a refresh on that, someone left a comment saying, that basically I'm hypocritical because here I am saying that you're not being judged on hair loss, you're being judged on these other 10 things. And when you look at the list, you'll see that healthy and active is on there. Being healthy and fit is on there. So they were saying that it's hypocritical of me to focus so much on myself, because I've told everybody, to be more attractive, you have to give other people what they want. You have to be a better person to other people. And ultimately, that's what these things are. And if you're a selfish, immature person, you're going to say, oh, well, fit and healthy. Well, that's vain. Well, if I was doing it for the sake of having big muscles and looking good with my shirt off, and that was it, okay, I'll give you that. It shouldn't be on the list. But I'm a mature man. I know, because again, I'm 39 and a half, that my body's not going to treat me any better if I don't treat it a lot better. I know that if I want to avoid heart attack, stroke, diabetes, etc., then it's a matter of me really polishing up this temple here, right? And granted, I have a real life. All the side hustle stuff is just silly. But in real life, I'm married, I have 2 kids. Like, I want to be there for them, and I want to be very present and active and available. So for me, it is still about other people. It's not, when I start posting on Instagram pictures with my shirt off, then I'll give you that. It's not going to happen because I'm not doing it for that reason. I'm doing it because I want to have control over my own life and my own body naturally. Focus on what you can control, not on what you can't. So as far as preventing hair loss, oh, but Nick, some men just don't look good bald. Some men, they need to have hair. Okay, so yeah, like I've said before, some men are weak-minded and they need that confidence crutch to feel good about themselves. I don't. I could wake up completely bald tomorrow and still be just as powerful, if not more powerful, if I had less hair. I'm like the opposite of Samson in the Bible, where if they cut his hair, they lost all the strength. I'm probably the opposite. You'll make me stronger if my hair goes away. So again, it's about focusing on what you can control, not on what you can't. If you're being fit and healthy for the right reasons and not doing it for pure vanity, I don't see how that's a bad thing. And going back to this list, though, these are the things that make you perceived as more attractive by society. So we all know, and I made a video about it this week, you make WWE wrestlers rich and famous. And think of how many of them are bald. You know, and it's like The Rock, Dwayne Johnson this year, and someone said last year too, the highest paid actor of both years. And that's a guy who shaves his head because of male pattern baldness. So it's interesting because society rewards men who have these qualities. Being fit and healthy is undeniably one of them, more so than having hair. Again, hair's not on this list. So it's just funny to see that an immature viewer would conflate the concept that working out and being fit is in the same category as trying to keep from going bald. Now, one last thing I'll point out, how these are not the same, is because I'm not worried about being fit and healthy. It's not something I have anxiety about. It's actually a lot of fun for me every day to go to the gym. I love it. It's fun. And yes, I am motivated, and I don't want the default body to happen, which it started at age 35, and now I'm doing everything in my control to change it naturally. But people who are trying to stop hair loss, they're anxious. They're worried about it. And their level of happiness, they're actually giving authority over to that as well. So for me, it's simple masculine maturity. Focus on what you can control, what ultimately will help other people. Hair, who's that helping? That's selfish. This list, to be attractive, it's ultimately you find a way to make all of these things about helping other people, and that's what actually makes you attractive. Your comments are right here.